Hi everyone, I'm Philipp Druzhinin and I'm making my research on mud flood. So this video is about some more of my research, and I found those pictures in internet, so I'm gonna show it to you. Maybe you've seen my video lately about the abandoned Moscow, so I was continuing that topic, and I've seen more videos of Moscow and the suburbs of Moscow. This is a suburb of Moscow. It's called Tsaritsino. Right now, it's located in Moscow because Moscow grew, obviously, and it's pretty huge right now. But in the past, we know Tsaritsino was just a suburb, and it was a place where Tsar's palace was. One of the Tsars, maybe country palace. So you see these trees and all this stuff. Looks like it was abandoned for a while, but we'll get it to this later. And this is another view of the same place. You see trees like growing on those buildings over here. So these are pretty cleaned up already, and these are not. And this is all messed up, as you see, like a bunch of ground and soil was moved around, and looks like it's not as it looks like now, as decent as it is right now. And there's another picture of Moscow. As you can see, trees and all this stuff grow right on those buildings, but can it really grow on the abandoned building? No, it cannot, because if you don't have any soil on the tops, on the roofs of those buildings, abandoned buildings, nothing will grow on them, obviously. Maybe little grass and stuff like that, but still, the grass needs some soil. So my point of view on this is that obviously something did fell on those buildings first, and maybe it was mud, maybe it was some dust, a whole bunch of dust, which obviously became mud after watering with some rains and stuff like that. So this is the famous letter of Potemkin in Odessa, and as you can see, those arcs are in the mud and were dug out. So maybe this is pretty old stuff which is now reconstructed, and I think the Odessa guys, if we have any, might as well check it out. So this might be the actual level of how deep was the mud flood. And this is the old picture, and it shows some disaster. Actually, everything that was painted in the medievals, so-called medievals, cannot be trusted to be dated correctly, because dates and times was shifted, obviously, after this disaster, and some historical occasions were multiplied, stretched to the time, to the past, and so on. And we see a whole bunch of examples of that, but this is not the time that we would like to talk about. We just check the evidence of some disaster, and this is how it might have occurred in the past. So what is it exactly? As you can see, it's a huge disaster, and something's fallen from the sky, and it's not just rain, it's some you know, how do you call it? In Russian it's called grad, some ice maybe, but ice with some mud or frozen mud, stuff like that. Maybe even just stones, or maybe something like that. And here we have another view of probably the same occasion, and another one. So what could have happened? And these are just like some fires and stuff like that. Maybe something shown here, like a second sun and stuff like that. We don't know. I'm not saying this is the case, but uh, just I guess if I found those pictures, I just let you watch it and make your own conclusions. Okay, this is another one. Looks like a fire falling from the sky, but not exactly the fire. So this is the picture of pillars or some poles or whatever, and they are split, as you can see. This only can happen if some huge speed and the body at a huge speed just breaks them. So these are the Kiev poles, and these are the desert of Gobi. The same type of pole destruction. And this is another one. What could have done this? Just a mud flood could have done it, because it was a huge pressure and just broke those stuff. And maybe this is not the case, but I found those pictures of Norway, and they say it's a Viking boat, stuff like that. But I'm not sure about the timeline, if it's correct. It may be just a boat of that village that was close to this place. Maybe not that Viking, because what is Viking? It's nothing, because we don't know nothing about Vikings. We don't know nothing. And they say it's a burial boat. And they say they have like a princess here and her servant, which has a DNA Gallup group or whatever from Persia. Just understand, where is Norway, and where is Persia, which is currently in our Iraq or Iran. So it's a huge distance. So just nobody could have just sail on ship and be like in Norway from Persia, and be a servant of a Viking princess who was buried on this boat. Look at this amount of soil that were just dug on this boat, as they say, and just pretty stupid, because you can just bury with little hill and stuff like that. Why do this all this level of the soil for many miles around? Or maybe you just dug out all this, put this boat inside and buried it with this soil. It's just stupid. Okay, I think it was a boat. It was standing near the village. Maybe somebody ran to the boat, got in, and was buried with this mudflood, because there's no way he could have survived, because it was a huge wave. And this is only the reason why they didn't find any armory, any precious things in this boat, because it's not a princess Okay, and how come she had a Persian Gala group on her servant? We don't know, because maybe our ancestors weren't this stupid and they had this and other technologies to travel as far as Iraq to Norway, and had something else which you could have seen on my previous videos, looking like huge balloons or Led Zeppelins, whatever. So those guys didn't find any precious things, any armory, anything. If that was a princess, there might be a prince, but there's no prince here, only the princess. If it has this design, it doesn't mean it's a burial boat. It could have been just a boat near the village, and it has these ornaments and has this design because every boat in this village had this design. So now they restored it, and here it is. And the stupid thing that they found this in this boat and two horses or whatever it is. So I guess that those girls jumped in this thing and they ran to this boat. Maybe somebody else could have done this too, but was flushed away with this mud flood. That's it. Okay, there's another one. And they also say it's a burial because somebody was inside. His height was about 6 feet tall, and he had an age about 50. And he was sitting inside this boat. Nothing else, no armory, nothing. This is the way it could have happened. Look at this village. Somebody could have escaped and went to this boat near the river. And he thought he would just, fly away or not fly away, just sail away, but couldn't because the mud flood was so huge, nobody escaped. There's some company in this Philippines or whatever, and they had drilling while they were working on this mining stuff that they did, and they drilled to this mud fountain, which actually became a mud volcano. Look at this. This is the mud volcano. And it just, never stops. They say it's never gonna stop. Maybe in 10 or 15 years, we'll see, but it's not stopping. It's already covered to the huge mud distance. Look at this. So there could be a mud under huge pressure underneath this ground that we live in, and sometime, someplace, some stupid guy in a mining company drills to this mud fountain, and it just, flushed away. And everybody who is living close to this place needs to move. Because if you don't move, sometimes, some way, you just, explode with this mud fountain and mud way. This is a mud volcano close to Crimea. Look how it is. It even has the village which is called the Volkanovka. Okay, so they know it's a volcano. It was a volcano, and it was a mud volcano. Look how it looks like now. It's all dried. It looks like just a pile of mud. Okay, there's another ones. There's all mud volcanoes. It's just close to the Black Sea, close to Crimea, close to Sochi, close to Tamanian Island. And these are pictures from Naples. So somebody just says it's catacombs because it's underground. Okay, but what a stupid engineer would have been to make such huge ceilings under the ground for catacombs? What's the purpose of this? When you dig such amount of, ground or soil or whatever you name it, you have to use this stuff, because why are you digging this? Just to use it for some purpose, not just to make these huge ceilings for some stupid what it is. It's just a corridor. It's nothing. It's not beautiful. Okay? What's the purpose of it? And again, what is it? A catacomb with such huge ceiling? It doesn't look this way. It just looks like an old street which is covered with some, thing above it. It looks like a street, an ancient street, okay, with arcs and stuff, little, letters here, some, canalization here, or, how do you call it? Whatever, where the water flows, so flushes away. So why do you make this for catacombs? It's stupid. And this is this thing from the ground. This is the same place, but it looks like a trade center which is buried in the mud. Trade center with a couple of floors, a couple of stages or levels, and it's a huge marketplace which is now covered with mud. And that's why they call it catacombs, because they don't know how to explain all this mud. This is a Rome picture and another view of the ancient level of the ground. Look at this. It's like maybe 30 feet deep, actually. 30 feet deeper than it is right now, than actual street level right now. There's another view of the same place. Okay. Just to remind you how they excavated the Rome. That's how it was. Look at this actual level of mud. That's what those guys did. So you can walk around Rome and say, oh, it's an ancient place, it's cool. But what date it is, nobody knows. They say it's like 1,000 years ago. I don't think so. I don't think they made this brick masonry 2,000 or 3,000 years ago or whatever. It's just stupid. It was not so far ago, and we know it. We all know it. We all seen those pictures, and we ain't stupid. Look at this Colosseum. How many mud was around it? Look at it. It's hours of hours of hours, excavation, everywhere excavation. So the reason is mud flood. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm looking forward for your comments and questions, and like and share, and so see you later. Bye.